Good morning, I'm Yolanda Vazquez, and here's what people are talking about this morning. No cost on this recovery mission just yet, but a lot of the time was volunteered. Police say they kept an eye on this motel overnight. Then when they had confirmation that Bennett was here, they say they did not have to use force. According to the government, Lewis Williams allegedly used the $200,000 to buy cars, fancy wristwatches, and pay off debts. The 37-year-old shot himself in the hip when the gun accidentally went off during a game between Maryland and Wake Forest.
Very latest on this tragic story. Good morning, Yolanda.
Good morning, Sharon. 36-year-old police officer Brian Winder was shot and killed last night while investigating a suspect he'd arrested just days earlier. Baltimore County police are working around the clock to solve the brutal murder of a 15-year-old girl. Hospital officials say they cannot comment on the case because of the pending lawsuit, but they did tell Eyewitness News that they're referring the faulty blood analyzer to the FDA. Hot, fresh donuts. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you asking me something?
Oh, yeah, you were busy eating or something, I think. Yes, Yoli, how are you?
I'm not eating. I'm working right now. I have things to do. Last week it was Corvettes. This week, convertibles. I mean, I'm turning into like some kind of automotive mama over here. I just keep my balance here. I probably shouldn't be skating on live TV, especially since I haven't done it in several years. In fact, I was saying the last time that I ice skated was at Rockefeller Plaza in New York City. Now, there aren't many places where you can do your traditional mall shopping and then within a stone's throw, step into a space that celebrates Asian culture. And I just wanted to accentuate the vintage jewelry that you can find here at the Second Sunday Antiques Market. That's what this is all about. According to the Maryland Department of Agriculture, blue crabs are in good supply and prices are now lower than at this time last year. And there are dozens of exhibitors all hawking their wares, everything from flooring to hardware to siding to windows to garage doors, you name it, they've got it all here. Thanks to shows like Sex and the City, more and more women are looking for ways to put a little excitement into their lives. As a result, a new kind of slumber party is gaining in popularity. The items being sold at these all-female gatherings brings a whole new meaning to girls' night out. The matter at Maryland General now so serious it's warranting a congressional hearing into questionable HIV and hepatitis C testing.
If they had evidence that a test was faulty or that people were walking away from a testing site with false information, it is shocking to the conscience.
I knew that that was life and death.
The former lab tech who exposed troubles with the testing will be called to testify at the congressional hearing. In an interview with Eyewitness News, Kristen Turner tells us she came forward because the hospital ignored her concerns.
That's the only reason that I took it in my own hands and talked to the state about it, because I don't really understand why nothing was done.
Turner says she contracted HIV after a horrible accident with a blood analyzer machine now under federal and state investigation. She is suing the manufacturer, the hospital, and its laboratory director for $30 million.
Maryland General betrayed the trust of the community.
Hospital officials say they cannot comment on the case because of the pending lawsuit, but they did tell Eyewitness News that they're referring the faulty blood analyzer to the FDA.
This testing equipment for hepatitis C and HIV/AIDS is distributed throughout the country and if not the world. And so it's of tremendous interest to the Congress and to the federal government.
And Maryland General is now widening its retesting efforts. Originally, only 10 to 15% of tests performed between June 2002 and August 2003 were in question. Now those numbers may go up.
It's really scary. I wouldn't trust any result that came off of that machine.
Yolanda Vazquez, WJZ Eyewitness News. The search for the suspected killer of a police officer ends at the Relax Inn on Reisterstown Road. Crime scene photographers take video inside a room rented by Charles Bennett. Police say he killed himself with a shot to the head.
Pop! One gunshot went off like that.
Jimmy McRaven was sleeping outside the hotel with his son in this U-Haul.
I was very afraid for my son's life.
Bennett was considered armed and dangerous, accused of shooting city officer Brian Winder last Saturday at a liquor store in West Baltimore. Since then, police have been on a manhunt following leads from tipsters. Then Tuesday night came one leading to this hotel.
It's what we wanted, it's what we needed. It was the only way that this investigation could have been achieved.
Police say they kept an eye on this motel overnight. Then when they had confirmation that Bennett was here, they say they did not have to use force. They simply used a master key to get inside. Police say Bennett peeked out from behind the curtains before they entered and may have seen police coming.
There were no winners in this case. Two families lost sons. Our family lost a brother. But as you can see, people came together in this department and the mission was accomplished.
The second suspect in Winder's death, Jermaine Gaines, is already behind bars. He too could face the death penalty, but unlike his alleged accomplice or Officer Winder, he's in jail where his life will now be left in the hands of a jury. 80 firefighters took part in this operation during the last week and a half. Their job is now complete, but the investigation into what caused the accident is far from over. The final victim from the Seaport taxi accident is going home. All 3 bodies have now been recovered from the waters off Fort McHenry.
There was many roller coasters in the last 10 days, to say the least. We weathered a lot of storms.
The events of March 6 are still under investigation, the boat being inspected.
We don't determine fault, we determine why, and our whole purpose is to ensure safety for the future.
Strong winds from a violent storm caused the taxi to capsize with 25 on board. Nearby naval reservists rushed to the scene, pulling out survivors. 2 of them, Joan Pierce and her daughter Lisa, died at the hospital. The vessel's captain, Frank Deppner, survived.
I'd like to express my deepest sorrow at this moment to those who have died, as well as those that are missing.
The recovery effort to find Corinne Schillings and her soon-to-be fiancé Andrew Rochella and 6-year-old Daniel Bentram was exhausting for firefighters.
This could take a very long time.
In all, 10 days. Private companies helped in the search by using mini submarines, donated sonars, even high-tech classified military equipment. But in the end, it was human divers who had to check out each individual lead in the cold, murky waters.
Once you're 2 foot underwater, I mean, you can kind of see the light, but it's like looking through a cup of coffee.
Diving in dangerous conditions. But by the 35th time, they proudly confirmed what had become a motto during the search: never leave anyone behind. No cost on this recovery mission just yet, but a lot of the time was volunteered. Meanwhile, the final report from the NTSB could take up to 1 year. Good morning, I'm Yolanda Vazquez, and here's what people are talking about this morning: bitter, bone-chilling cold. Central Maryland is under a wind chill advisory this morning as temperatures plummet. Looking ahead, is there more snow in our future? Only one man knows. Tim Williams is in the First Warning Weather Center with a look at what could be heading our way. Good morning, Tim. More snow? Breaking news out of Iraq this morning. 3 U.S. soldiers are killed when a roadside bomb is detonated near Kirkuk. This latest violence comes just hours after a car bomb explodes outside a police station in Mosul, killing at least 9 people and wounding as many as 45 others this morning. And just minutes ago, British Airways cancels 3 flights to Washington and Miami. The latest terror warning is specific to transatlantic flights. Vic Carter has the details. A critical weekend is here for the 7 Democratic presidential candidates. On Tuesday, 7 states will hold important primaries, including neighboring Delaware. As Mary Bubala reports, that's where frontrunner John Kerry made an appearance last night.
WJZ Eyewitness News.
A Baltimore County man is at shock trauma this morning after police say his wife ran over him with her car. Investigators tell Eyewitness News it happened last night in Towson on Ridgely Oaks Road. The unidentified woman is charged with attempted murder after allegedly running over her husband twice. Investigators in Maryland and California are unfolding a murder mystery. Police discover the bodies of 2 men buried under concrete in San Bernardino County. Authorities in Houston say the 3rd Super Bowl since the September 11th attacks will be as secure as the previous 2. More than 25 agencies will be keeping a watchful eye on the city this weekend at a cost of well over $1 million. A new security fence has been erected around Reliant Stadium. Metal detectors have been put in place. There will also be a no-fly zone over the stadium tomorrow. We'll be back with more, so stay tuned.